All right, so this is the full video that goes over the entire process in the most up-to-date format of how to create your business foundation. The business foundation, for those that have not read, is literally going to be the thing that can help you with your sales conversations, helps you write emails, helps you with your ad copy, landing pages, conversation bots, you name it. This entire thing is going to take, maybe if I'm explaining it, maybe 15 minutes, but I would say 10 minutes to 15 minutes will get us exactly where we need to go. So let's hop on in. So first off, I copied the prompt. So I am in Lean AI Marketing Foundation, the most important thing, copying the prompt. I paste it here. I'm going to use Bliss Drive as my example here. So Bliss Drive is, they do the following. My agency is called Bliss Drive, and we are an AI enabled digital marketing agency that specializes in SEO and ads, and email. We build the components, the marketing components for clients that are above 2 million ARR. So they can bring in leads, convert those leads, bring in leads, nurture those leads, and convert the leads. So that is the first thing, something like that. Detailed avatar description will be 2 million plus ARR through 50 million ARR, or through 100 million ARR. We'll say 50. We'll just say 50. Through 50 million ARR. Businesses, business owners, and C-suite executives. We'll say this instead. Business owners and C-suite executives that work, own, that are in a company that makes, Yep, great. We'll say industry is industry agnostic, broad industry, from SaaS to e-commerce to local businesses. Anyone that needs leads coming in from SEO, PPC, SEO ads, and email. All right, that's probably all we need. Oh, and then let's describe the executive real quick. So we'll say something like 30 to 60-year-old '65-year-old business owners and C-suite executives. We'll say this, probably like Yeah, 30 to 60 is fine. Perfect. And next, we're just going to delete the stuff that's placeholders. So this was the placeholder. So now I have my ICP framework. Here you go. And now we create it. So I'm going to pause it while it is creating. And we have the second prompt on the right, which is great starting point. So I'm going to get that ready. And then I'll pause it. Alrighty, so we got our stuff. And now what I'm going to say is, I noticed this. Normally you just post this, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, hey, avatar, simple business. Yeah, so business owner. Yeah. The business owner avatar is perfect as our root. I'll just say something like that. All right. The only reason I said that business avatar as our root, avatar is the perfect as our root is basically to say, look, there's a bunch of different stuff where I could see it getting too distracted by the SaaS and by the other stuff. Business owner is what we want. So I'm going to pause it. All right. So now that we got this, we're going to go to a doc. I'm going to hit new. And I'm just going to we'll do Bliss Drive ICP. So this is where we're at currently. And what I'm going to do is we need to then expand this further. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm now going to go into deep research. So we're going to say, save your prompt to output in a Google Doc, open up a new window. So we're going to open a window, ChatGPT, deep research 4.5. And I need to research all of these things here. My audience is business owners. You just replace that, business owners. And you say, I want to help them become, to help business owners generate more leads, nurture their leads, and convert their leads with SEO, ads, and email. So with that goal, how would I find the complaints and the objections? I don't need you to find the statistics associated with this. It's literally just that I need to find more sentiment so I understand what their goals, fears, aspirations, objections, and that kind of thing are. Great. Now we're ready. Ecom, B2B, local service, and SaaS are all great industries. Yes, insights. So I'm reading these. Do you want insights on pain points related specifically to, yes, insights related specifically to SEO, ads, email, marketing, and lead generation through inbound. Hiring for these services. Yes, I want breakdown of objections regarding hiring the agency or consultants for the services. and I want to know about their frustrations with the channels. US based. Great. Start. And this should be researching now. While this researches, typically I don't want to move away from this tab. I'd like to make sure that it's actually working, but let me go to the right and show you. So we just responded to the AI. So now we have another thing. I need you to validate my ICP research by actually fetching online data on all of this. So now I'm going to go open a new one, do deep research. I'm going to paste this, and then I'm going to say ICP. Here is my ICP, and I'd love real data to validate it. The claims, especially when numbers and percentages are involved. I get rid of the first part. So now we can do this here. US global is fine. Numbers, numeric claims, and insights are needed. Industry specific isn't required, as it's more about business in general. But if you can't find what you need from business owners generically, then you can modify the search to include those industries. Competitor benchmarks are good. No preferred sources, but you listed a bunch of good examples. So I'm going to hit start. And let's see it actually work. All right. Great. It's working on the other, just double checked. It is working on the other page. So we are all okie dokie. Now we just need to make sure we can do both at the same time, because I don't know if it will. I have done it before, but sometimes the way that deep research works is it glitches out when you do too many things. So we shall see. I'm going to pause it, and I'll let you know when I get results. All right, so we are ready. So now we have some statistics. We're going to grab this, and then what I need to do is, in my ICP conversation here, I'm going to paste those statistics, and then I'm going to say synthesize okay, so I'll say this, go up. And then we're just going to do this, synthesize. The research is below, something like that. The research is below. and it is focused on real data. If we have unverified data in our ICP, we don't want to include wrong info. Something like that. All right. And then O1 Pro, put that in. So after that one, we're going to go to the next one over here. So it's still working on this. Strangely enough, I think this was the first one. Yeah. So I don't know what's happening here. It is on Reddit. So I'll pause it again. We're waiting on this thing right here. But once we get the research, we will put it all together. All right, so something I just did because I saw that it was stuck was if it doesn't move and the sources aren't changing, just refresh the screen and sometimes it's actually done. So now I've got that and I can use the same exact prompt and I'll say, great job. Now we have one final job of synthesizing the post, additional data to enrich this ICP framework. We maintain the framework. We don't want to remove info unless the research clashes against it somehow. Something like that. Here is the research. I hit paste. And then whenever this is done, we're going to hit the go, basically. So what I'll do is I'm going to make sure that over here I edit my doc. And we do this. The copy and paste this, the below content. We'll do a little italics there while we're waiting. And then, yep, that. And then we'll do this. So prompt one is this. Prompt one. Prompt two, prompt three, research. Great. So now we have it. I'm gonna pause this video. Oh, let me explain this. So we don't need on prompt three, this, if it doesn't have the 10 inputs or outputs, then you use this prompt. And then this is one final kind of quality check. And then this is the final output. So you could get by with just this prompt in the left, but I like to make sure that I have everything. So make sure if you're not seeing something you want, you have kind of prompt three. And then I already kind of added prompt four in here. If anything in the original list was flat out wrong from the research, then just remove it. So we should be good there. I'll pause it and I'll start it again when we're ready. That was super fast. All right, so we are ready. And now let's make sure avatars the same. We got 10, 10. So they're still keeping 10. That's pretty good. Great. I'm just looking through this right now. So what I'm seeing is it's not exactly clear. I think the thing that you would probably want to do if you want to have it state exactly where it got the information is you need to say like provide sources, and then you need to add that in the output. So if you want sourcing, so I think on mine I actually had some sourcing, but it might actually be removed now. So let's see. We'll do this. I know what I want. So review your work and make sure everything is production ready for any section of the framework that has real data and real insight from deep research. Add a little note below the numbered list that just says research tie-in. And it'll include all of our research of the relevant data that was extracted with sourcing if possible. All right, so it's working. I'm gonna pause it. All right, and now we're ready for the last piece. I'm gonna hit pause and we'll be good to go. Now this is still going, but it is important to say that you don't have to sit and wait the entire time. You can be doing other things. You can be checking emails, doing your Slack messages, and then basically if you were to give yourself like, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes, then this process would be done. But you would just kind of check back in every 5 minutes and just kind of have Slack pulled up while you're waiting. So that's what I recommend, just letting you know. But the full process, if you just kind of like hammer it out, it's going to be 20 to 20-ish minutes. All right, so we should be ready. We've got all this stuff here. Yeah, there's no research tie-in. Okay, great. Research tie-in. Research tie-ins. Sweet. This looks good. All right. That means we're ready to go. This will now replace what we have here. And next is we need, so let me go, well, first I got to save this thing here, make sure everything's good. And then next thing is we need to enrich with info about our program. So basically, here's what I'll say next. I'm just going to continue and then say, because I don't actually have program info for this, I won't be able to actually write this. But what I did is I had like, here's my program info, and I was able to put that in here. And then on top of that, I was able to do this here. So let me show you. Then explain the tangible outcome. ICP. Yep. So now we're ready. I'm going to do another chat. We're going to do O1 Pro. You could continue the same chat if you wanted to, but I'm going to do this. I need you to read my ICP and program info. ICP will be here. Yep. Now we're ready. Get rid of that. Push it here, and then I'll say business program info will be I'm just going to actually not even include it. So what I'll do instead is this. An overview of working with Bliss Drive. So here's what I can do. I can go to the website, and then I can say something like this. Copy. I can go over here, and now I can say like business info attached via images. And then let's go back to Bliss Drive. Unfortunately, it's just SEO up there. So what I can do is I can do this here. Let me do like a minus to get the screen a little bit better. And then we can do this. And then last piece is got to go over here. So I think we're good. All right. Now it should be thinking. Now this is if you don't have that kind of information. If you have like a very specific, like we do this, it starts like this, you work with us this way, then great. But if you don't, it gets a little bit harder. Some tips here is it's really best if you only focus on one thing. I do SEO, I do PPC, I do this, I do that. Don't try to do multiple things. I just did multiple things, and it's not going to be nearly as good, unfortunately. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, let's pause this, let it work, and then we're going to get the next piece. Once we get that next piece, let's see if I can show you what that looks like. Yeah, so it looks like this thing here, which is right here. Boom. Why this method, tangible outcome. Perfect. So now we're just going to let it go. Up, retry. It might not have the images anymore, unfortunately. That is one thing with images in 01 Pro. Ah, I still see it good. So especially, this is a good example. When you include images, it does break this sometimes. So we're going to keep it on this screen. I'm going to pause it, and hopefully it works. All right. Great. So now we're good, and we're going to go to our Bliss Drive thing. We're going to put that in here. Now we've got it. So the last piece of this is the story brand, and that ends the foundation. You can get into the Hormozy style offers later. So next, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this here. I am giving you my ICP info and program info, and I then need you to follow the instructions. Instructions, something like that. I could paste this here, paste, and then I'm going to say that should be fine. Great. So you don't have to start fresh. It's up to you. This is kind of a mixture of my preferences. So what you're seeing is me hopping back and forth. I'm going through, and I am simply, if something starts to get kind of long, for instance, on this one, right? We did multiple forms of synthesis. So I just don't want it. Ultimately, all we wanted was the very end. So I don't want to keep this conversation going anymore. So I can get rid of it. Next, we don't need this research anymore. We already got it. So now we go back over here and we're just working. So I'm going to pause it and we'll pick it right back up. All right, so this is almost done, but I'm going to show you the next piece here. We're going to do the content. We're going to create our content ideation system. So here we go. And we'll say, this. And what I'm going to do is I could use Claude 3.7 or I could use O1 here. But let's use 12 p.m. I can't even use it anyway, so I got to keep using O1. So what I'll do next is we'll do a chat GPT. Chat GPT. I'm going to say this. If we have multiple cores, we would have 3 components around each of the individual cores. This is how you can just modify this prompt, guys. So I did PPC. The reason why I'm doing this is I did SEO, PPC, or ads, and then something else, email. So what I need to do now is I'm trying to just adapt it on the fly and say, well, what I originally did is there's a core, but if I really want the core to properly hit on all these things, I need to center it on each of these things. So example is right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. Then here we go. Testimonial themes. Great. So we're going to go now back to our Bliss Drive SOP. I'm going to put that down here. And we're going to do this. And now I'm just going to enter this in. Rely on my ICP info and context below to understand what I do and who I do it for. Something like that. All right, so I'm gonna hit that, I'm gonna hit paste. And now we're good to go. I'm gonna hit that. And it's gonna work. So we're gonna create our list. Let me see if I can show you what that looks like. So it's gonna look like this. And then after we create this, then it's going to be outlining our specific, outlining the very specific components. So when we outline the components, let's do second prompt is right here. under the content ideation system. So let's do this. The naming needs to be this. So that's all you're doing, right? You're just going to name. It helps if you specifically name it, right? Like, I just want to create this one thing. If you don't like how it comes across, then you can just adjust the prompt however you see fit. It would help if you actually gave some titles. So like what I could do is I could show you like what it looks like if we do that. So ChatGPT is working. So I'm going to show you, let's do, how about this here? Matt Lakajev, maybe? He's a good guy. So we'll do this. I'm going to grab in my notes. I'm going to grab notes on potential YouTube example titles would be how to instantly drive more sales, how to add 200 leads a week on LinkedIn for free, and then 10 commandments of selling in the LinkedIn DMs, how I built a $1.8 million a year LinkedIn funnel, this email marketing system made me 272K in 5 months. Steal it. If I started from zero on LinkedIn, I'll end out here, by the way, on LinkedIn from zero. Here's what I'd do. So basically, if you have a YouTube channel where you know they're like in your kind of field and you want to just make sure that you're, doing what works, then, how to actually, I'll do one more, sorry, grow your agency, 5 steps. 12 years of lead gen knowledge in 24 minutes, something like that. He even has a how to come up with these ideas. The reason you, one more, can never stay consistent with anything. All right, so here is what I'm trying to get at. It's going to come up with some titles here in a second. So what did it do? Holistic SEO and content, AI refined PPC and ads. So what is the core? Lean AI. Oh no, it took from my Lean AI. Oh, did I accidentally keep something that I shouldn't have? So promises, mistakes, systems, the story can use this, personal stories, metaphor, then we have this. Think of it like an opinion piece. Must have grabbed my memory somehow. So now if this happens, then I did not tell you Lean AI. Your only context is this conversation. You took that core from somewhere else and you need to completely reevaluate. Something like that. So I'm going to pause it. All right, so we are good to go. Now what I'm going to show you is I just grabbed some example content to basically do this, but Now, what I want to do is I have some example YouTube titles, and I want you to learn from it. And maybe you'll change your mind on how we do our core components. Or maybe not. Here is the info. Great. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit this, and we're good to go. I'm going to hit pause. This actually worked out quite well. So now we have a different core. It is changed from transparent ROI focused growth, data driven, no guesswork approach. And now we have profitable, transparent growth for ambitious business owners. So profitable, we're not here for vanity metrics. Transparent, our ICP has been burned by scamming agencies. Growth, more than just lead gen, long-term business and personal expansion. Component 1, mindset and personal mastery, CEO, productivity, time management, consistency and habits, marketing and lead generation, scaling and team building. This is perfect. So next, I'm going to I have to get the prompt ready. Where it be? Okay. So we're going to do this. Perfect. You'll maintain the knowledge of the components of the ICP in my biz, and we are using this content map. Let's begin here. Component 1.1. So 1, mindset and personal mastery. And we will exclusively do component, do maybe subsection 1, CEO productivity and time management. Cool. There we go. This is going swimmingly. So the end of the video will be right here, because what I'm going to show you, well, it's going to, at the end of the result, I'm going to unpack it because I don't need to iterate. You're going to iterate from here. You'll expand it. You can just copy and paste, literally. I'm going to actually add that now. So scroll up, and then I'm going to say this, copy, and then what we can do is this. We'll do prompt 2. I hate that it does that, but okay. Actually, you know what I'll do instead? I can go to my ICP and just grab this, copy. So all of it matters the titles. Okay. We'll grab this and that. And then I'm just going to paste this in, make sure it is actually listed out. Perfect. Here is the info. And now we are good. So I can save that, go back to step 2. So I'm going to change this up a little bit. And we'll go back here. Maybe here. No, we're here. So we already did this part. And then next is perfect. Let's begin here. The naming needs to be catchy. And now we're ready. Nope. Paste. Oh, I got to actually edit this. Here we go. And paste. Perfect. Let's begin here. Let's do component 1. I need you to create a table. The naming is this, and now we're good. Sweet. That's all there is for this one. So next up, we can minimize this. Our content outline, we can copy this up here. We can put that into our subsection of our document. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a subtab, and then we'll name it after the content. So mindset and personal. Mindset and personal growth, or mastery, personal mastery. So now all I would do is I'm going to paste these. Perfect. Mistakes. Perfect. So now I'm just going to paste that here. And if I want, what I can do to make sure that everything is in a little like table is I go up to the top, I hit this, I do that, and then I just hit this little 0.75. We're good to go. So now we've got everything we need. So this is under component 1, right there. And we're just going to do heading 2. And now that is our content. So we would just continue to iterate on this. And then now, actually, there is one more thing to show. The last thing to show is what we would need to do is we need to apply this, right? So I would say, great, I'm going to do this. And we're actually going to just take an entirely new, I'm going to say, I need you to create content to help me with my task, which will be at the bottom. You must first digest and understand who I am and what I do. And you'll understand my content ecosystem. ICP. Content ecosystem is the outline. I'll just get rid of this and this. So we'll do this all the way to component 3. And we'll do this. Your task. I'll put that right here. And we'll say, I need you to create a video script that is for YouTube. Or actually, no, instead of the video script, I'm going to say, I need you to create a, we'll call it shareable tip post that uses my framework below. The tip will be focused on this. I can just grab that and that. social tip framework. And then I'm just going to grab my framework from in here. I'm going to go to projects. I'm going to go to BD test. I'm going to go to my shareable tip. And there we go. I will exit out, paste, and we're good to go. So that is now a full explanation. This is exactly what you would do if you want to create content. You create a mega post with O1 Pro. If you do not use O1 Pro, you're going to have to use Claude Sonnet, and you'll have to do the files that are in there, and you'll keep the ICP information and files on there. But I recommend just doing it like this. If you use Claude Sonnet 3.7, you would basically just develop a follow-up prompt that says, you need to make sure you pay special attention to all of the components and make sure that everything has been followed, whatever it is. So O1 Pro, the magic of it is I can just continue doing this. I can just do one big one. So this was my whole thing. So now in the future, all I need to do is I can copy this entire thing, right? I might be able to actually copy this at the very top. No, man, that sucks. So you build this out. I'd probably craft a section in your ICP itself where you have a post area where you could just have it ready for you. And then you can just boom, swap it out, do the only values you should need here is the only values you need here are, where is it? Hero's Journey's right there. And then your task is the only value you need. And then you'll adjust your framework as needed. So this is always what you do. So I'll copy this and make sure that the school group has this in here. The magic sauce. Always do this for all content. So that, and then that, and then we'll say framework, social post, frameworks, add frameworks, video script, frameworks, templates, examples, and then something like that. And then let's go to the top and we'll say content ecosystem, your content outline from step one. And then at the very top, we'll do this. And we'll just say that this paste ICP, content ecosystem, full ICP enhanced with story brand and deep research. Great. And now we're good. That's it. So I'm going to save this. Go to the bottom and show you what we got. So this would be the post right here. So what I can do is I could grab this. Let me just show you if I go to LinkedIn now, what that would look like. I already posted, so I'm not going to do it again, but I would probably not do like a title like that is killing your productivity. Like this, the result. So what I would probably do here is make sure you've actually, no, I would just do this. Slowed company. Here's how to stop it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The All right. So now we've got, you can see how I kind of like structured this, but now we have our whole post. This could then be turned into an entire video, right? So then I would say, great. I could go here and then say Bo Norton video style. We'll do something like this. Great. Now we're ready to convert to make a different content type. Let's continue on this topic, but now we are doing a short 7 to 10 minute video. Here is the style guide, something like that. You can hit post, and now we can transform it. So I know I said we're done, but I just wanted to show you that you can actually transform it further. So if I created something, any type of content format, I might as well just keep the same conversation going and then transform it. So now I have a social post. I have a full video. I could make a reel if I wanted to, maybe just read off the social post itself. That'd be fine too. And then I could turn this into a LinkedIn carousel asset if I wanted to, using the LinkedIn posts. So you have that one over here, right? I could turn this into an ad. That's how we do these. This is the Lego block lean AI method. Is we've created the foundation from which the machine will think exactly how we want it to, and now we're ready. So typically I'd want an actual example here. It might not get exactly what I want. The best is to have examples and templates, but I didn't include that on this one, and that's totally fine. But that's how this works. I'll pause it. I'll let you see the last. Oh, here we go. Hey there, it's Richard from Bliss Drive, and this is what I call the anti-micro method for business owners. Okay, so let's make sure real quick. Bo Norton. Let's just make sure you don't overly copy the guy, the style. I was giving you a framework, and you work from the framework contextualized around my ICP and who I am and my content. And this subject. All right, so you could do like one follow-up just to make sure that it's right. Might as well try. So now I'll pause it, show you the final thing. Or actually I can read it still because it's still fine. But let's do this. So from that single meeting, you create multiple forms of content or communication touch points for your team. So team, task, board updates, project SOPs, mini check-in chats. All these offshoots keep everyone aligned without you hovering over every little detail. Sounds simple, but it's very strategic, which is why I teach a system called the Ownership Amplifier Framework inside my Empowered Leadership Academy. So obviously he doesn't have that. So if he had that, that'd be great. I don't do that. So what I would actually have to say is I'd have to say, look, I don't, I could give a little voice message and I could just say, look, I don't do that. I can't do this. I just provide, you can only work from the information that I gave you. So you need, whoever is watching this video, you cannot just expect, don't just paste this and don't without editing. If you're a VA watching this, then this is how you get fired, is if you do not read this stuff. You have to read this stuff. You have to give a shit. Give a shit, you get to keep a job and you get to grow in your career. If you don't give a shit, you get fired. That's how it works. So make sure you review it. I know it's tempting to just be like, I could take on everything. No, your job is to use the AI system, even if you're not a VA, and then it's to evaluate. So we're going to evaluate. I noticed the anti-micro method. That wasn't immediately familiar to me. I wasn't exactly sure what this is. And I noticed, okay, well, this prompt has like the anti-hustle content strategy. Maybe it's adapting too strongly. So that's why I adjusted it. So over here, we have our full script. So this gives you all the ideation, and then now you could basically work from this and then come up with your ideas of, okay, how will I show this? I could draw this out. You could ask AI as well, but this gives you everything you need. It gets you a huge head start so that you're not sitting there with no thoughts and just like an empty page. Because the goal is to have something, right? Oh, frick. The goal is to have something that works, You also can't make up program names that I didn't give you in the ICP. Okay. So I'm going to pause it. I'll show you the final result. All right. So this is the final thing. Hey, it's Richard from Bliss Drive, and today I want to share what oh my God, now it has the lean AI method. Okay. So as you can see, this is a problem because you just, I'm going to end it here, but it just, you just used lean AI, which is not part of the, of Bliss Drive. That is an entirely different business, and you used info not in this chat to get it. Stop and try again. Something like that. So if you want to stop it, then here's what you can do. You can go to ChatGPT. I'm going to move my face. You can go to your settings at the top. You can do settings. And then we have, I don't want to delete chats, personalization, memory, off. Custom instructions are not on. So I don't care. And now we're good. That's all you need to do. All right. That's it, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. This is how you create an entire content system. This is how you deploy your entire everything in this course for your content. Then now the next piece will be you'll have landing pages, you'll have all sorts of other stuff to then send leads to. This helps you build those. You can use all of this information, and you can also remember it's all about a framework and input. So if framework is, maybe you have frameworks for how you want to respond to sales messages or to like an email. If you have this as the context, you could have this in OpenRouter, for instance, and have it in like system text or something. And then you could just have that there, and then you input the message and just say, hey, here's my email. Or here's someone said this. This is my first interaction with them. And here's the instructions for how I respond to people, whatever, and go to town. That's it. Everything you're doing uses this as the foundation. So